What's up everyone, Ronco Pop back here with another video, and for the month of October this year I am going to be drawing Universal monsters. The Universal Studios monsters like Dracula, Frankenstein, not the Mummy, I don't think I'm going to be drawing the Mummy, but I will be drawing the Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon. These are all classic Universal monsters, and last year I did, what was it? It was murderers or psychos or whatever, like Freddy Krueger, Jason, and all them, but wanted to switch it up, and yeah, so let's get into it. Alright, like I've kind of explained before, I'm not a huge, horror movie fan, but there is something about the Universal monsters that, they're just kind of classic, and not only because they are based off like old school literature, like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Dracula from Count, what was it, Bram Stoker, but there is something classic, and one of my favorite amusement parks is Universal Studios, and I like that one, even though I like roller coasters, and it doesn't really have any, but it does have all the movie stuff, and I'm a big fan of the movie stuff, and in general I like movies, going to the theater. Yeah, so I've always kind of liked these characters in general. I think I don't even know when I first realized them, but one thing I do know is that my first real memory about all of them all together was that awesome movie from the 80s, maybe it was the late 80s, early 90s, I think it was late 80s, The Monster Squad. I thought that was such a cool, even now thinking back on it, I think it's such a cool idea, like these kids getting together. It's like Universal Monsters meets the Goonies, kinda, and so I thought that was great. Me and my cousins always got a kick out of, the whole Wolfman has nards things. And yeah, they did a little story with Frankenstein, well, spoiler alert, how many decades later, but Frankenstein ends up going against the monsters and siding with the kids to help them out. But yeah, I thought that was I really enjoyed that movie. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? Well, I am working on my graphic novel, The Amazing Red Bee. You can sign up for the mailing list right now. By signing up, you will get the updates on when we launch. Plus, everyone who signs up for the mailing list gets not only an exclusive trading card, because I'm planning on having trading cards for the character and different characters in the book, but mailing list subscribers get a discount. I'm most likely going to be offering the graphic novel at about probably $25. Right now it is tentatively set at about, I would say, between 90 and maybe 110 or 120 pages, right around there. I'm still messing with the ending on how many pages, but most likely probably right around, I'm thinking right around 110 pages is going to be the graphic novel. And as you can tell by my style, I do have that all ages flair to it. I love this drawing this way. It's fun. And yeah, so this is going to be a great all ages graphic novel about the Amazing Red Bee, my character. What is the book about? It's basically about Red Bee being the superhero of Hive City, and then all of a sudden we have a new hero that comes to town. His name is Ultra Dude. Well, Ultra Dude is ultra fast. Ultra Dude is ultra strong. Ultra Dude has ultra eyes. So basically, he can do pretty much anything Red Bee can do, but he can do it better. So, when Red Bee finds this out, then we get to the point of, well, what does it really mean to be super when there's another superhero in town who can do everything better than you. And that's really what the core of my story is about, really. It's finding out how to be super, finding out your own strengths and how you can, be a superhero, even if there is someone who is more super than you. I think it's a great lesson. It's one of those classic old school lessons of like, what really makes a superhero? Is it just the powers, or is it something like who that person is inside and what they do with the talents and the strengths that they've been given? And so that's kind of what the book is about. That's, I would say, the moral of the book. Of course, it's a superhero story. So the superhero story is going to have action. It's going to have adventure. It's going to have some great supervillains. I'm trying to create a great rogues gallery of I'm trying to create a great gallery of rogues for Red Bee to face, in not only this book, but books in the future also. So yeah, definitely check it out. I'll have the link in the description down below. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm working on right now. Other than Red Bee, I've got a number of different stories I'm trying to flesh out. I'm trying to get some more stuff out because Red Bee is going to be taking up the majority of my time as far as the priority of what I'm creating. But, I know I'm a new creator on the scene. I'm trying to get my work out there for more people to see who I am, type of stories I create. And I've mentioned in the past that I want to create, or I want to tell my own adaptation, I guess you would call it, my own version of a public domain story. And so I am working on getting that right now together. Right now, what I'm doing is writing out I'm breaking down each chapter into, pages so I know what to draw and how to narrate it through how it's being told. And I haven't said it before, but I'll say it now. I am working on The Adventures of Pinocchio. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about that because that is going to be awesome. If you think you know Pinocchio based off of the Disney version, let me tell you, you do not know Pinocchio. There is a talking cricket, is Jiminy Cricket? Yeah, there is a talking cricket in The Adventures of Pinocchio by the original author. And guess what? Pinocchio kills him in chapter 5. So yeah, there's that. And I am definitely looking forward to telling that story. When I get my website and everything up and running, I will have preview pages of Red Bee. And I am going to keep Red Bee to myself. I'm not going to put it on other websites or anything like that because, there's contracts and everything like that. And I don't want anyone, that's my property right there. That's what I'm going to be working on. But when I start releasing and publishing individual chapters of Pinocchio, I'm going to be putting that on all the other websites, including my own. So that's going to be available, on my website. It's going to be available on Tapas, probably on Webtoons. I'll probably maybe try to figure out if I can, upload it to Instagram. And yeah, so I'm going to get that one out everywhere. And like I said, I'm really looking forward to that being released. I'm hoping to start uploading updates for that maybe late this year. Like I said, Adventures of Red Bee is my main priority. Red Bee is all scripted. It's all plotted out. I have everything except for maybe the last 5 or so pages. That's why I'm not sure exactly how many pages going to end up being. But I have almost all of the pages thumbnailed. And so right now I'm working on the basically inks and drawing it and coloring it, and I'm working on different pages as I go right now because I'm trying to get some pages and different images ready for when I do launch. I have that stuff ready for the trailer I'm going to be putting together. But yeah, Adventures of Pinocchio. Like I said, if you haven't read it or you don't know the story and all you know is Disney's Pinocchio, let me tell you, you don't know Pinocchio. And I've only gotten into, I'm up to about chapter 10 right now. I think there's 30 different chapters or so, right around there. I know that halfway through, like, the story, he was supposed to, Pinocchio was going to die, actually, halfway through the story, and he gets hung or hanged, however you pronounce it. And yeah, so the publisher at the time came back. I think the author's name is Carlo, or was Carlo. And they said, hey, you need a little bit better of an ending. So he expanded the story and made it a little bit better. And it still has that great moral to it. And so that's going to be pretty awesome when I finally get to that. Alright, what else is there to talk about? Well, I don't know if you've seen the other videos I've had on my channel, but I have been trying to create some more videos as far as creating comics with Procreate. I really think that's a cool idea to do, and I know there are other artists out there who do it too, who have created tutorials and whatnot on how to create comic books with Procreate. But I'm doing my own there, so if you haven't seen them, please go ahead and check those out. They're up on the channel right now. I think I have 4 of them as of this recording. It is I have one on basically reverse engineering a story if you don't know how to do a comic script, I guess. I have one on creating the panels in Procreate for a comic book. I have one on creating making a layout, I should say, in your comic, because you should have a good layout when you're creating a comic book. You don't want just stagnant images or everyone the same size in it and whatnot. So I have one on that. And then the most recent one as of this recording is I have one on creating speech bubbles in Procreate. And it's not, as I say in that video, Procreate isn't the best art tool to use when creating speech bubbles, speech balloons. It's very limited in creating oval balloons, and if you try to adjust them, they can get blurry if you don't have your DPI or whatever, up enough. So it is kind of limited in that respect. If you have Clip Studio, if you have Photoshop or Illustrator, those ones work, I think, much better to create speech bubbles and the text for your comic book. But as I say in the video, if all you're doing is creating on a iPad with Procreate, then yeah, you can still do it. I'm still going back and forth if I'm going to do that or not, because I do have Adobe Illustrator, and so I might put all the speech balloons and text in the Amazing Red Bee and do it through Illustrator, but I haven't decided yet, because that is a little bit more work just to transfer everything from the iPad to the computer and whatnot. And it will look better if I do it in Illustrator. Other than that, though, I might just get lazy and be like, let's just do it in Procreate, because you can, like I said, you can do it. It's just you kind of have to beat it into submission, and you don't get as many options to create it all like that. You don't get all the bells and whistles, as they say. With that being said, I'm not really sure what else, what other kind of tutorials to make when it comes to creating comic books with Procreate. I have some other ideas of videos to do when it comes to comic books, just not Procreate. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing those or not. My channel is still kind of in a state of flux as it is. I don't know exactly everything I want to talk about, really. I mean, there are a bunch of different topics, but I want to try to kind of stick to one if I can, and like, you know, so people know what my channel is. I'm definitely going to be, you know, talking about my own project, but I want to add some other type of value. So if you're hearing this part, you know, let me know what you might be interested in as far as, you know, other different type of content you want to see here. Alright, well, I think I'm going to cut it here. Could probably add some more highlights, maybe a little something to the candle there, some shadows in the coffin. But yeah, I'm going to cut it here. So anyways, if you enjoyed this, please hit that like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like to see anything else from me on this channel. And be sure to check out the amazing Red Bee sign up page, which is linked down below. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.